This video is brought to you by Blackout X, the most high-end brand of e-juice, legal herb, and legal concentrate vaporizers on the market. Visit blackoutx.com and use the promo code 420CMX to save 15% off at checkout.
So Iron Tom, we have two members here. How's it going, guys?
Great.
Doing very good. I hear you guys are coming to the end of this tour.
At the moment, yes. We got a couple shows left on our run with the Chili Peppers. We're continuing on touring ourselves in different ways.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What has it meant for you guys to be touring with the Chili Peppers? Has it been a great experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we've basically dreamed of doing forever, and I don't know who wouldn't dream of wanting to do something like this, basically. But yeah, it's meant everything to us, and we've learned so much, not only from watching them and getting to the opportunity to play for their fans, but also being able to learn, to have the opportunity to just play music in rooms of this size.
Yeah.
So
Seriously, yeah, these venues are crazy.
crazy.
Have you guys got any hang time with the Chili Peppers at all, or?
Yeah, we get to see them, in the hallways and stuff, and I know the guys, and everyone has a pretty strict routine, and because it's like they're relentless, they're like athletes, so they have very strategic routines of how they get ready for the show, and that's how they're so good and bring so much energy. Is they're just so committed to it, so that's what they're doing a lot of the time. But
Absolutely. I want to talk about you guys' latest record, Partners. You guys seem to have a very eclectic kind of sound. There's lots of classic rock influences, alternative rock, and even some electronic undertones in there, if you ask me at least. How did you guys kind of blend all those sounds together so seamlessly, and which element came first, would you say?
I'll pass this to Harry in a second, but I will say that we've never really tried to think about what it is we wanted to do. We've never tried to think about, what's our sound, what's our genre. Sometimes that's worked for us and against us, but we're the kind of band who's just open to write songs however they come, whether or not it's Harry writing a full song or me writing a guitar part or our keyboard player writing a full song, or our producer hearing one little thing and then us making a whole new song out of it. So I think that's why it's so eclectic, is because we just are open to doing whatever we want to do.
Right.
We definitely are big rock guys. Like, our favorite bands are Led Zeppelin and the Beatles, and that's kind of where we started.
Tangerine, living reflection of a dream.
But then, as we've grown playing together and as we started working with Aaron Bruno, our producer, different elements have come into our music, and it's just it's all cool stuff to us,
Yeah, so you guys don't really have much influence from the producer? Does he change a lot of the sound usually when you get a new producer in there?
Yeah, well, we haven't had that much experience working with producers per se until we work with Aaron Bruno. We worked with Alan Johannes, which he was amazing and it was great. But he sort of just allowed us to kind of bring our songs the way they were, in, and we just kind of came in and threw them down, and he just created all this sonic atmosphere, which was beautiful and amazing. But he never really got inside the song and said this is great, or this is terrible, or this needs to be like this. Aaron really, that's where we learned how strong-minded and how passionate a producer can be is with Aaron, because he has such a strong vision for music in general. And he brought that to us. So some of the electronic elements is that's a lot of his influence. But personally, that's something that I've been wanting to forge into a little bit and get more into hip hop. Mm-hmm. And I just we never had, for some reason, we were hitting a wall with that, and he helped bring it out of us. So it's cool.
Awesome. Talk to me about your thoughts on being a supporting act on a tour. Is it better nowadays since the audience has phones? They can instantly look you guys up. Have you found that you've gotten a lot more exposure?
I think we found it's a lot of fun being a support act, because we're from LA, and LA audiences are pretty critical, and I feel like they've you know, they can be hard to crack.
Right.
They can be hard to get, you know, to be enthusiastic. But the audiences around the country, it seems like they're looking for new music all the time, you know. And any audience we've come in front of, opening for the Chili Peppers, or opening for AWOL Nation, or whoever we've been with, it's been great because everybody's been, you know, psyched to experience something, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like they don't care who you are, they just want to, you know, they're going to dig it if you bring something for them, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to always keep it fresh, and it's always cool to discover a new group. And one of the standout songs for me on you guys' latest record was No Matter What.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
you know, you talk about how you don't care if you're winning anybody over and such. Do you find yourself kind of trying to win people over?
Well, it's kind of that attitude of, it's, you know, we want people to come join our party and have fun with us, you know, but it's kind of, you know, that song's kind of a bit of a, it's, you know, it's more of like a pump up for ourselves, you know, just like kind of proclaiming that we're going to go forward and come with us if you want, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that song is more of like a sentiment and less of like a literal thing.
Right.
I don't know about you, but for me, it's more like, you know, we will persevere through thick and thin because this is what we love to do, and this is what we were meant to do, and this is what's gonna, excuse me, it's gonna happen either way. So if you don't like it, then I don't care. You know?
Exactly. Fill in the blank.
But I do care because I want people to be into the band.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I say the same thing. It's like, if you
Yeah.
don't like my show, don't watch it. But it's like, if nobody watches it. you know?
Exactly. You have to. There's a good contrast there. Yeah.
Yeah. You were going to say something, Harry?
Oh, yeah, there's just a lot that goes into doing this and trying to be a band and trying to get out there, you know, a lot of hurdles and a lot of people, you know, who might not believe in you or whatever. And it's just, you know, you just
Right.
got to overcome those things. you know?
Definitely. How'd you guys meet in the beginning?
Well, we went to high school together, and I was playing drums in a talent show. We were doing Crazy Train
Oh, nice.
by Ozzy, and he was singing and playing guitar in his band, and they were doing Revolution by the Beatles.
Very nice.
Total separate thing. You know, I had my act, and he had his act, and my dad actually came to one of the nights and said, like, afterwards, I said, you know, how was it? It's good. You know, I said, all right, well, cool. And he said, you know that guy Harry? He had a thing. I think maybe you should try to jam with him. And I thought, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna do that, but thank you for, you know, that
Right.
suggestion. Because at the time he's a senior and I was a freshman, so it's like, you know, in high school, you might as well. It's like a fish and a moose or something. You know,
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
didn't
Who
think it
knows?
would work out?
I didn't think that I would even do it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I had my band, and where our drummer Dill was actually the singer, and I'm like, I got my thing, you know. But you know, my dad actually went out of his way to reach out to Harry and call him and invite him over. He set up like a jam date, and it worked.
Right.
And here we are. You know.
We three jammed. Like Jack played drums and Zach played guitar and I played guitar and sang a little bit. And you know, we started jamming together. And then Zach and I just started hitting it off, and we basically started writing songs together. And you know, it took a number of years for us to develop that together.
Right.
But once it got to a certain level, then we were like, it's time to find a band and try and get out there.
Yeah, I wanted to have a band from the very beginning. Harry, he had to like decide that he wanted to do that, but yeah.
It took a little extra time.
Well, in the beginning, a little bit.
It was more just trying to get to the level of like, are we doing something that people should hear?
Right.
You know?
I didn't care about that. Now I think like that, but at that time I didn't care. I just wanted to play guitar and rock in front of people and
Right.
headbang and do crazy stuff like that.
So how does it progress from the high school talent shows to actually going out and doing shows and stuff? Because as you guys mentioned, the LA audiences are quite harsh. So how did you end up cracking them?
Well, we can fast forward to when the band was together,
Yeah.
and we just the band came together by us. We basically went to Santa Cruz, California, for a weekend just to be together and play music, and we ended up writing some songs that we were like, whoa, like it just totally came out of nowhere, and we just all kind of were looking at each other and were like, whoa, this is the music we've been wanting to make. It just
Right. happened.
And so when we did that, we got back to LA and just started doing the whole bar club thing, and like, there's, it's a pretty hard thing to get into, and like, getting bookings, and if it's a good booking or whatever, but we kind of found our way. We found a bar that let us play, and we just started playing there regularly, and we generated a good little following in this corner of town that like there weren't really rock bands playing in,
Okay, so you guys had like a fresh market kind of thing.
Kind of,
Right.
in Venice,
Okay.
where, the Doors are from there. You'd
Yeah.
think there would be bands around there, but not so much these days. And so we just played there, and we had people starting to come and see us, and we just got better and better,
Right.
And from there, it was like the next step was trying to, get on the road, basically.
Yeah. I guess from that point, it would just kind of progress naturally, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's like anything. You put energy into something and it comes back at you. So there's little details and stuff like what he's saying, but overall, it's really like we just have done it for a while. We just went and did it, and as much as we didn't maybe want to do stuff like that, we knew we had to do something. We knew we want this to be our lives. There's no other option, and at all costs, we're just going to go play. And at the time, that was our best option. And, you always want to just keep taking it up to the next level, but life has sometimes other plans for you. And, yeah, I mean, we've been lucky enough to all, be on the same page about wanting to persevere regardless of the adversity that's in front of us, and there's still going to be a lot to come. That's just life,
Right.
know, but at the same time, it's for a cause that we truly believe in,
Yeah.
A lot. And, starting a band and trying to get it to go, there's a lot of hustling involved,
For
you know?
sure.
But the thing we've always known is the only thing we can control is how good we are,
Yeah.
And so from the beginning, we just rehearsed like maniacs and, just put in hours and hours and hours and just tried to be as good as we possibly could. And then all the other stuff is like another lane of challenges that you
Right.
have to go for, but it doesn't matter if you're not good or you're not, you can't bring something,
Right. Most definitely. I got a couple fun questions to end it off for you guys. If you could switch musical abilities with one person for a day to find out what it's like, who would it be?
I might be a guitar player, see what that's like.
Just generally speaking.
I would be Dan, our keyboard player. I'd switch into his shoes for a day because he's an incredible musician, and I have no idea, what it would be like to have that ability on that instrument, and not just physically but mentally too. He knows so much about the theoretical side of music, and I've learned all my theory from him. Actually, I didn't know
Okay.
what a chord was called. I knew nothing, and then he sort of, just being around him, I started to put it all together more, and it would be him, but. Because I can play drums too, so I kind of know what that's about.
Yeah.
I sing too. I mean, I don't sing like he does, but I sing into the mic and look into the audience, so close
Right.
enough,
Got the ability.
Yeah.
What are some music festival do's and don'ts you guys wish you would have known your first time going to festivals, which I assume you've gone to?
Yeah, we have. Well, the do's and don'ts are don't not wear sunscreen when you're a band of our size because you're playing in the day and you're getting burnt.
Right.
And it's brutal. And also, don't expect there to necessarily be that many people at your stage at the you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's funny. I went to a music festival and there was an act very early in the day and there was like maybe 200 people there, but there was that one guy who was jumping up and down screaming, I drove
Yeah.
all the way here for you guys.
Totally.
Yeah.
That must totally make it worth it,
Yeah, it is, and you can't, you're just grateful to be there, have your name. It's like being able to see your name next to other legendary names.
Yeah.
It's such a great thing, and it's such it's an accomplishment because even if there is that one guy there, that's all worth it,
Absolutely. Well, I thank you guys so much
Yeah,
for your
thanks for
time.
having
I'm a
us.
big fan of the music.
Thank you, man.
And I can't wait for the show tonight.
Yeah, cool.